it's Elena and I'm back with another video. And today I will be reviewing my first year at Cambridge University. Now, as some of you may know, my first year didn't end exactly as planned, to put it mildly. If you haven't watched my video on why I left early, the link is in the info box below and you can also find it up here. Go watch that video first for some context and then come back here. But if you've already watched it, then you're in the right place, and yeah, let's get started. Okay, we're gonna start with academics because that's why you go to university, right? You want to get an education. So let's start with that. Regarding my teachers, I have to say they were amazing in so many regards. Like, I really am grateful for the teachers that I have, and they supported me so much even when I wasn't, you know, just functioning normally, because at some point I had a mental health issue. And, you know, I wasn't doing as well, and they were nonetheless there for me, supportive. And when I couldn't go for a supervision because I was just at an emotional low that I just couldn't get out of in that moment, it was absolutely fine. So I'm really grateful for the teachers that I had in that year. And in all honesty, they were really amazing people, and I'm actually still gonna have some of them in my second year, and I'm really grateful for them. The other thing is, my lecturers were really cool people as well. Some of them were, you know, just very factual and just giving you the information. That's cool too. But some of them were such funny people, like you just enjoyed coming to lectures. I remember this one time when we sat in a tort law lecture and the lecturer pulled out footage from kangaroos fighting because he was like, you cannot imagine how strong kangaroos are until you see this. And like all of these funny things, and those are the things that, you know, you remember at the end of the year. And yeah, that's why I really loved my academics, and I think the teaching is really amazing. I guess this is not a surprise since Cambridge is one of the highest ranked universities, especially for law. But yeah, I nonetheless think it's good to say that because I do have to say it's really like that. Now, obviously it is hard, and I'm not gonna lie about that. The workload is at times ridiculous, and it seems a little bit inhumane to put that on people. But the thing is, it makes you stronger in the end, and I think it also teaches you how to look out for important things when you do a reading. Because in the beginning, I remember I was reading every sentence twice, you know, and especially with law, you're just so nervous that there's one little detail that just changes everything. But you learn how to read faster, you learn how to only read important parts, and you learn how to find those important parts. So while the workload may be hard, and especially in the beginning it just seems like it's just horrible and you don't know how to get through it, you do learn how to get through it. That doesn't mean that you stop complaining. I certainly haven't stopped complaining in my blogs, but it's such a feeling of accomplishment when you finish a reading list with over 1,000 pages of reading, because you know you did that, you made it through, and that's a good feeling. So the workload is hard, but I think it pays off. Now, one of the things that can become a problem, which I've learned, is when you have a huge workload and you don't look out for yourself. And that's basically what happened to me. I just didn't really look out for myself. I didn't really realize that I was starting to feel super low all the time, and I didn't really realize that was a problem. And I only started asking for help when it had become a really big problem. So, you know, don't be me. If you're not doing well emotionally, talk to someone. And that's the thing that I think I really learned from my first year in university. The thing about university that makes it so different from high school is that when you're not doing well, there is nobody who's going to ask you if you're doing okay. You need to ask for help. You need to be the one who's like, I'm not okay. When you do that, then you will get help, and then they'll tell you what they have to offer you as help. But if you don't make that first step, it's very unlikely that someone will come up to you and be like, hey, are you doing alright? Because in university, professors have hundreds of students. And so, you know, they're unlikely to watch out for every single one of them, be like, oh, are they doing alright? Is everything okay with them? I've realized they haven't shown up for this one lecture. Maybe they're not doing well. No, that's not gonna happen. So instead, you have to be the one who makes that first step. And that can be really difficult, but trust me, it is worth it. Okay, let's talk about accommodation, because that was something I was worried about. I mean, I came from a boarding school. Where I shared a room with 3 people, and I literally only had a corner to myself, and the bathrooms hadn't been renovated for over 20 years, so, you know, I didn't have too high standards. So when I came there, you know, I expected something. It was kind of similar to that, I guess. Like, I knew I'd have my own room, but still, like, I wasn't expecting something fancy. And if you've watched my first vlog, I think you know how incredibly surprised I was when I saw my room. My room was gorgeous. It was huge, pretty, very, very clean. Oh my god. I had not expected a room like that. Like, not in a million years. And the bathroom was really fine as well. We even had a little kitchen. Wow. I cannot tell you like how surprised I was. I thought I was gonna have like a super small room, and yeah, I was fine with that idea. And then I walked in and I was like, wow. I could not believe it. So yeah, I had a really great room, and I don't know, the accommodation is just fantastic in my opinion. I mean, they even come and clean your room for you. I mean, wow. You know, like everybody thinks when you're in college that you kind of like live like a more low-key lifestyle, I guess, because you know everybody's broke while they're in university, but instead you have a bedder who comes and cleans your room. I mean, wow. That's a luxury that I don't have at home, and that I didn't have in boarding school. And I'm also really grateful for the college staff, because the staff at our college is really great. And I feel like I'm saying really great a lot in this review, but you know, I really like them. We have the porters, and the porters, they're a lot more than just security. They're the people who you can go to if you're having an emotional low point at 3 AM in the morning. They're trained for that, and you should go to them and talk to them. And they're just the kindest human beings I've ever met. The porters are incredible, and if you ever have any issue, like, you know, from you can't find a good restaurant to go to I'm having an emotional breakdown at 3 AM in the morning, anything in between, yes, you can go to them. And they're just amazing. And I don't know how the college does it, but the college just creates this atmosphere where you feel like you have a lot of people that you can talk to and that are trustworthy, and that's something I really appreciate about St. John's. So yeah. Even though I had an emotional low point and I had to intermit because of mental health issues, I've always felt safe in the college. I felt like it's a safe space, and I felt like I had enough people who I could go to for support if I needed it. So even though I had those emotional problems, the college dealt with them in such a way that I also feel comfortable going back. And I think that says a lot about how well they are doing in terms of dealing with students who are going through things like that. Okay, but now let's get to the most important thing, which is probably why you clicked on this video. The food. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but like when I was deciding where to go, I looked at a lot of reviews of unis and stuff, and I was always wondering, what is the food like? And only a few students addressed that. But that is a very important topic for me. So let's talk about the food. Okay, so we have a buttery in the college, and the food is really great. But you know, if you don't like to eat too healthy every day, it's fine, because McDonald's is a little walk away from St. John's. And when I say a little walk, I say it's not that far, because I walk that walk a lot. And I don't walk a lot, so don't worry, you can get there. And Five Guys is also opening nearby the college, so next year is gonna be good. But in all seriousness, it's really good food in the buttery. I think it is quite affordable. It's absolutely affordable compared to any prices that you see in Cambridge in restaurants or even in takeaway shops. So yeah, the buttery is a great place to go if you can't cook like me, but you can also cook yourself because everybody has access to a kitchen. Now, I am trying to step up my cooking game, and I'm probably gonna live with my friend Sijan, who cooks a lot. So I want to be able to cook as well. So I think I'm going to try to cook a bit more. Who knows, maybe there's gonna be cooking with Elena on my channel soon. Somebody already sent me a book about how to boil an egg, so I can learn at least something. Thank you so much for sending that to me, by the way. I really appreciate it when you guys send me gifts, especially funny ones like that. I'm definitely gonna learn how to boil an egg, don't worry. And I think I'm gonna start cooking a little bit. Hopefully I'm not going to burn the kitchen though. Aside from food, I was also really worried about making friends, as I also said in my freshers advice video, because I'm somebody who doesn't make friends easily. I'm a very shy person, and I'm an introvert, and I don't really talk to people, and that's a problem, I guess, when you want to make friends. So I was a little bit worried, you know, whether I'd be just alone in the library all day, every day. It didn't come to that. I actually made friends in the first week, which is something I didn't expect. And everybody that I've met in my college and even in other colleges is so kind. And, you know, I had a real stereotype about people at Cambridge because when I read about Cambridge and when you see photos on the internet, everybody looks so posh. Everybody always in their gowns and their suits or their fancy dresses, and I was just like, oh god, I'm not gonna fit in. And I learned that everybody's really just normal. And yes, we do dress up for special occasions, but we don't dress like that every day. We're all normal people. And I can't believe that I've made such good friends in such a short amount of time, because it's literally been less than a full year. But in all honesty, I'm so close with some people there. And I didn't think that was possible so quickly, but somehow it is. So yeah. The people, I can only say, they're really great, and don't go in with the stereotype of everybody's posh and arrogant. It's really not like that. I know that I was guilty of this, and I don't really know where it came from. I think it mainly came from all of these pictures, but also just, you know, hearing rumors, reading a few articles, especially in the Daily Mail, and, you know, then this paints this really bad picture in your head, but it's not true. So yeah, don't buy into it. One great way to meet people is going for extracurriculars, and I would highly recommend joining at least one extracurricular group. It does pay off, you make new friends and you learn something new. And I would recommend joining a lot of Facebook groups in order to find out about them, because one thing I learned at Cambridge is almost everything is organized via Facebook. I think the entire International Freshers Week was organized on Facebook. Like, I have not received a single email about it. I just, you know, received Facebook notifications, got added to a Facebook group, and then I showed up for International Freshers Week. So yeah, if there's one thing that you should, you know, do, it's join Facebook groups to figure out what's going on. I, at the beginning, didn't really take it serious because I was like, well, that's Facebook. I mean, if it would be official, they would, you know, send out an email. But no, they will just send out a Facebook invite, and that's official enough. So, you know, value Facebook and actually check it. Because I'm somebody who doesn't check our Facebook a lot, but I learned to check it more often while I'm in Cambridge, because I realized everybody organizes their stuff through Facebook. So Facebook is essential to get into extracurriculars, and I would also recommend joining extracurriculars which you don't have to pay for. Or if there is a fee, that it's A, relatively low, and B, really justifiable. I only joined one extracurricular where I had to pay to get into it, and I only had to pay because they have to purchase equipment. So I'm cool with paying for that because that's an expense they have, and how else are they supposed to cover it? But it was a relatively reasonable fee, and I think most people could go into it if they wanted to. But for example, I'm not willing to pay around £100 for getting into the union. That's not going to happen. And the reason I'm not doing this is because it's not accessible to everybody. I want to be in extracurriculars with people who are there because they're genuinely interested in it, and not just everybody who could pay for it. So I would recommend joining extracurriculars which are free of charge, because you're going to meet people from all kinds of backgrounds there. So go for those, and don't just go for the ones which are paid, and it also saves you a lot of money. So yeah, that's my advice on extracurriculars, but definitely join at least one. They are worth your time. And I know there is this stereotype that when you're in Cambridge or Oxford, you just have to study all day, and you don't have time for extracurriculars, but you need to make time for them. Because otherwise your mental health is going to suffer, because you're only going to focus on your degree, and that is not healthy. And yeah, that is a very honest review of my first year at Cambridge. It ended very differently than I thought, and despite the fact that it didn't end well, I guess, in the eyes of many, I'm actually really happy about it, because I learned that the university stands behind you and has your back even when you're not doing well. And that there is so much support that you can access through the university totally free of charge, which I hadn't really expected. And I always thought, you know, Cambridge is this perfect place, like everybody there is perfect. In case you haven't realised, most of us suffer from imposter syndrome. And, you know, when I felt like, okay, I was falling behind, you know, because I had this issue, I was like, oh my god, they're probably just gonna be like, well, bye, you know, that's it. That wasn't the reaction I got. It was completely different, and that's why I'm really happy about my first year, because now I know that I, you know, can talk honestly about issues if I have any, and that I can trust the university with that, and that is worth a lot. So in the end, in a way, I still consider my first year a good year, because I learned a lot about myself. I learned that it's important to look out for yourself. And I think I'll go into my next year a lot more aware than I would have gone into it had I not taken this break. So at the end of the day, I feel good about my first year, which is weird given how it ended with me publicly crying on the internet. But, you know, I'm nonetheless feeling good about it. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any questions for me, you can send me a message through the contact section of my blog, which is linked in the info box below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a nice day. Bye!